He's trying to take it by trying to get his shots away. Don't blame him for that.
Arsenal's 3 top scorers from last season not involved here. Alexis Sanchez 30, Walcott 19, Giroud 16. And of course they're hoping Lacazette will rack up the goals this campaign. Ozil. He was hoping to pick up that ball after Conte cleared it.
It was one of those balls, wasn't it? I'm sure if Ozil had got something on it, he'd probably controlled it. It's on his stronger left foot and would have got a shot away. Luiz's clearance wasn't the best. Xhaka's ball was decent, a bit too heavy perhaps.
Gets the free kick.
A little bit cynical, wasn't it? Good opportunity, Monreal with the tackle. And as we said at the top of the game, Gary, you know, neither side wants to lose against their local rivals, so there's going to be an edge to the game.
And also Arsenal 100% record in pre-season so far. They're very keen to keep that up. Yes, the win over Bayern was only on penalties, but they'll still count it as a win.
As we always say, Gary, a win's a win.
Absolutely. Fabregas. And the Williams flick again, just not quite finding its target. Ramsey. And that will find its target. Super ball from the Welshman. Ozil. Xhaka. And that all comes to nothing. Conte. Pedro. Batshuayi. Willian. You see sometimes the ball does just get held up in the longer grass. Pedro.
We're seeing some good play, aren't we? Both from Chelsea and Arsenal, but Chelsea looking the more dangerous for me.
This is Granit Xhaka. Now Lacazette. Ozil. Uncharacteristically misjudged.
Yeah, I think he thought Bramo was going to run on, and maybe with a bit more experience from the young man, he might have ventured a little bit further forward. But I suppose at the end of the day, we've got to blame Ozil for a poor pass.
Batshuayi. Willian to his right, and he takes it on himself.
Also one of those who's got to pass, hasn't he? Difficult to score from there. Batshuayi, but he's only got one thing in his mind. And again, some great football. Willian's looking impressive, I must say, in these early 20 minutes or so. There's the pass. He takes the shot on from distance. It's got to go in. If you don't score, I'm sure Willian would have had something to say. There's a lovely little pass in the middle of all of that, though, in the build-up from Cesc Fabregas. Just sees those opportunities to move the ball on quickly. Problem for Monreal here. Physio's just told him 70 minutes to go.
Well, with the humidity, it's no surprise to see players taking on fluids with 20 minutes gone. Very good 20 minutes as well.
Has been open. We've seen some of the play we saw last season from Chelsea. Absolutely brilliant, the touches, turning the ball around the corner. Just not a finished article at the moment. Need a goal.
Maybe he'll be the man to provide it after the impact he made at the end of last season. Chelsea's recent record against Arsenal, obviously the cup final was a disappointment, and the match at the Emirates last September, which we've mentioned, but they lost 7 out of the last 34 against Arsenal since 2004. There's contact. Nice return to him by Pedro, but Arsenal will clear. Young Bramall, actually the first name on the team sheet for Arsenal. I wonder how much first team action he'll see in the coming season. Azpilicueta presents that one to Iwobi. Ozil to Ramsey.
Well, that's a great break by Arsenal, wasn't it? Looking for that opportunity again. Mistakes do happen. And I guess if we're going to make them, let's make them in pre-season. All passed by Cesar Azpilicueta there. Gave Arsenal to make a chance to make the break, and in the end, Ramsey gets too much on the ball at the near post. Good delivery in.
4 goals last season for Ramsey. A modest total. Midway through the first half, both sides have had their opportunities. Moses. That's why looking to help that onto Willian, it was the right idea.
Unlucky, isn't it? It's good playing. We're seeing this often, aren't we? This ball that we turn around the corner. This time Mertesacker comes in too deep, never quite getting there, and there's a good chance for the ball to be played in behind.
Mertesacker with the header away.
It has to be a little bit longer, doesn't it, to beat Mertesacker, tall player. Not the quickest, and I think that's why he'll have the pace to beat him.
Bramall. Certainly would have envisaged playing in this stadium against Chelsea 12 months ago. Conor Bramall. David Luiz going long. And Ospina came charging out to meet Pedro.
Well, he's taking a chance there, Ospina. Let's hope Pedro's okay. I mean, it's a slight nudge the referee's given a free kick for, but do you know what? In pre-season training, Gary, I just don't understand the challenge by Ospina. This is a pre-season match. This not only could be dangerous for Pedro, but also for himself. And I don't understand the nature of his challenge. Let's hope Pedro's okay.
Well, you'd be hard-pressed to say that was a foul by Pedro as well, wouldn't he?
Well, there wasn't too much in it, was it? I mean, he's not the biggest of players, Pedro, and he's not going to push Maitland-Niles all over the place. I thought he was favourite to get to the ball. There you see the slight nudge, but the actual nature of Ospina's challenge for me is dangerous. And not only should it, for me, he not be doing that, you've got to be thinking about a player's safety in challenges like that.
Antonio Conte certainly wants to check all is well.
To be honest, the ball's on the edge of the box as well, and is this handball outside the area by Ospina as well? You know, it's just a very, very reckless challenge by the goalkeeper. He's completely wiped Pedro out.
And it's the way he lands as well, on the side of his head.
I think the nature of the challenge means we'll bring him off. I mean, I don't think it's one that's worth continuing with, to be honest, unless he actually turned around and said, I'm absolutely fine, which he might be saying, but he certainly felt it, that's for sure.
Well, the first side of his head got clattered by the goalkeeper, and the other side by the ground. As you say, not really what you expect in a pre-season match.
No, I think Antonio Conte's trying to find out if he's coming off. He's got a blooded nose, he's got a whack around the ear there as well, which is not particularly nice either. And that's what I'm saying about the nature of the challenge. Actually, no need for it from Ospina.
Play back underway.
Just for me, takes a little bit of an edge off the game for 5 or 10 minutes perhaps, that really didn't need, because it was a very good opening game.
This man hasn't had a lot to do, has he? Thibaut Courtois. Contact. Xhaka looking for Ozil. Just snuck in behind Gary Cahill. David Luiz hoiks that one behind.
Well, again, great positioning from David Luiz. I think he'd have preferred it to go for a throw-in, but it's important he gets there first and makes good contact.
We're going to be seeing Jeremy Boga here, replacing Pedro. Black bags of pace there.
Well, for people who've not seen too much of Jeremy, he's got some skill as a young man, and he really needs to get involved in the game quickly. And this is good for him. You know, a good time for him to get some minutes on the pitch.
So with Arsenal's second corner, Cahill beats Mertesacker in the air.
Yeah, and that's a good thing as well. That's a small thing, Gary. You know, the ball's not the best one. It's hanging in the air. Mertesacker must be 3-4 inches taller than Gary Cahill, but Cahill's won the header. Now, next time that happens, that'll give Gary Cahill confidence when the season starts, when we play Arsenal, that he can out-jump him or out-time him with the jump. Well, he certainly felt the challenge, didn't he, Pedro? Here we are, 4 or 5 minutes later, and he's still not looking particularly good. Let's hope it's not a long-term thing.
Jeremy Boga has taken up the exact same position on that left side. 20 years of age. There's Ivory Coast. Ozil to Xhaka. Now Monreal. Half an hour gone here at the Bird's Nest. No score. Not for want of trying.
And it looks like we're all up to tempo again now after injury to Pedro. Changing back into formation, and Arsenal looking comfortable with the ball at the moment. Can we win it back?
Will be the player who conceded possession. Chelsea have the free kick.
I don't know how Monreal can think this is not a foul. The back of Willian and kicking away at his ankles. It's not the right decision, and of course, as we said before, the humidity is quite intense. Players need to get the liquid on board. I'm sure more than happy to have a drink as the game goes on.
Reminder that Chelsea 2 games in the National Stadium in Singapore next. Bayern on Tuesday and Inter 4 days later. And of course it'll be the Community Shield against Arsenal again before the season starts. It's upon us.
I guess from the lineup we started with today for both sides, we're going to see different personnel starting in that game, Gary, when the Community Shield starts for both teams. And I guess the buying and selling is not over yet. Still plenty of time.
Bit of personal instruction there for the first sub.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the information will be fitting into the formula, fitting into the style of Chelsea. When this young man, Jeremy Boga's on the ball, it's all about him. You know, he's got such ability, such quality, that you want to get him into the right areas to be able to show it. But he needs to do the team ethic on the build-up before that. And that's what a young man does. He comes into the side and learns about the way Chelsea play.
Moses didn't intend to find Willian there.
Just got his touch wrong there, didn't he? But Willian tried to pick up the bits and pieces. Good strength against Monreal, but loses out.
Conte doing what Conte does.
Yeah, you don't win those battles against him too often, do you? Great strength from Batshuayi as well.
Holding off the rangy Mertesacker. Free kick to Arsenal.
Unlucky as well, wasn't it? Looks like Chamberlain does well just to cut out the pass that was intended for Batshuayi, who's run from deep.
Who knows where his future lies? His last year of his contract, doesn't seem to want to sign a new one.
Well, there's been some interest, hasn't there? And, you know, we've heard the Chelsea interest, but there's been 1 or 2 other teams as well. So one of those players, I would think, from Oxlade-Chamberlain's point of view, that games like this are important for him to impress on watching teams. Poor header.
Willian. Past Monreal. Stinging the palms of Ospina. Then Moses with a terrific strike.
And again, capitalising on a poor mistake. Ospina does well in the end. And as said that, it was good power from Moses, but it was reasonably close to the goalkeeper. This was the one, was brilliant play by Willian. That was straight at him.
From the corner. Batshuayi's in there, but the flag is up. Frustration. Beautifully worked from the set piece.
Yeah, I think the offside's for Fabregas though, not Batshuayi. Batshuayi is disappointed. I think he feels it might have been him offside. I think he's in a good position here, just where you want him. It's this one here. Oh, they've got that wrong, haven't they?
Yeah.
Certainly got it wrong. Not offside for me. The goal should have stood. It's a great play as well, wasn't it?
Ten minutes to half-time. I'm sure we'll see changes at the break. Upended. Again, it's
Well, he's made a few, hasn't he, Monreal? I think we suggested earlier on that normally a yellow card he would have had at an earlier stage in the game, but he's had a few bites at the back of Willian. Just wonder where the referee lies with dishing out yellow and red cards in games like this. I guess we won't see a red unless it's essential, but those little niggly fouls are so frustrating.
Well, it does happen, doesn't it? But it's rare. That's a foul by Bramall. And Batshuayi. Fabregas looking to clip it over the top. Now Boga up against Maitland-Niles.
It's a great little run, wasn't it? But the ball was just maybe a bit short for him.
Moses. Oh, nothing wrong with that ball. Mertesacker has to put it over his own bar.
It's a great ball in, isn't it? Mertesacker does well, to be honest. We talk about positioning for centre-backs, but this run by Jeremy Boga was perfectly timed. He's really unlucky not to get on the end of it. Great ball in there as well.
It was a terrific dink, wasn't it, by Fabregas to put Boga in. Chelsea worked their last corner brilliantly. What can Willian do here? Onto the chest of Gary Cahill.
Well, it's a training ground routine, isn't it? Worked well by Willian. Gary Cahill takes it down, and unfortunately it drops slightly behind him, and to swivel on his left foot was a difficult one to make contact with.
Made a bit of a mess of that, Arsenal. Fabregas. Boga. Beautiful. Batshuayi.
Again, Batshuayi takes on that shot. I still think there's another pass there. Brilliant play by Jeremy Boga. That's what we're talking about, the young man. When he gets the opportunity in certain areas, he certainly can frighten defenders into making mistakes, but he continues his run. Well, I think Batshuayi should either have played him in again here or gone to the right-hand side with Willian. As I said before, if you're going to take these shots on, you've got to at least hit the target, force the goalkeeper into a save, or pop it into the top or bottom corner.
End of the season with 9 goals. Batshuayi. Some of them certainly will be remembered for many years. Conte. Batshuayi not able to turn away from Mertesacker. No doubt Chelsea have had by far the better of the half. Good chance for Ramsey, but otherwise really got close to Courtois. Batshuayi, Willian. Is he going to take it on here? You bet he is! And he scores! Brilliantly! Well, it was the mistake midway through the half which caused a problem for Arsenal, but didn't Chelsea punish them? Willian, fresh from that hat-trick at Cobham against Fulham, nets a fine goal here.
That's a great finish, isn't it, at the end of what was a good run as well. And again, I just thought the ball was slightly behind Willian. He had to take it on, and he finds himself one-on-one against Monreal. And he's done what Willian does. You know, he put it in the bottom corner where Spina's got absolutely no chance. Here we see him one-on-one. Which way does he go? Oh, Willian's strong on his right foot, but that's a quality finish. Just passes it into the bottom corner. And I think that's been coming. I think we deserved this. I think we've been the better side in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Monreal's been kicking away at his heels for most of the first half. I think he's got his just rewards there, Willian.
As Mertesacker caught out a little bit higher up the pitch, and suddenly there was a hole which Monreal couldn't fill. Great time for Chelsea to score. Half time approaching, and that's a mistake by Bramall. Conte, Batshuayi, brilliant! Oh, magnificent goal! 2 in a minute for Chelsea. 2 magnificent finishes. And they've taken a firm grip on this game. Batshuayi now with a majestic strike.
Well, he's had a few opportunities, hasn't he, Batshuayi? But this one, he's just got Mertesacker in front of him, and this time opens up the opportunity by a great first touch. Sets it up onto his left foot. We've seen this one before where he's just curled it into the far bottom corner, and again it's been a no chance, but there we see it. Starts outside the post and bends it into that side netting. Chelsea take the advantage, and this is much better. The football's getting better, it's getting crisper, just what we want to see.
Well, what a devastating spell from Chelsea. I can't argue with quality finishing like that from Willian and Batshuayi. Oh, and Ospina forced into the mistake, and here's Fabregas, and Batshuayi's in again, and it hits Xhaka. Fabregas, Arsenal absolutely all over the place here. Well, they escape.
They're causing their own problems now, and it's a panic time for Arsenal, isn't it? I think it's one of those situations from Arsene Wenger's point of view. You know, it's not a disaster to lose to Chelsea, but it's the way and the nature that the team in the last 5 minutes have not necessarily collapsed, but they look in a mess. And I think it's that he's got to put right. And I find it strange, if this had been their first game, Gary, pre-season, I would perhaps have understood a bit more, but it's not. They've played 3 already. This is their 4th. They should be getting used to it by now.
Unbelievably sloppy from Ospina, such an experienced goalkeeper. There's a bit of pressure on him from Batshuayi, and he lost his head completely. Bramall's ball in, and looking for Lacazette, who's barely had a sniff.
Great defending, absolutely brilliant by Gary Cahill. And that's what you want. You want the man getting there first, being strong, being powerful, and getting the ball away.
Xhaka. Bramall. Not sure what he saw there, the young man.
A bit of inexperience, wasn't it? We don't often see Arsenal putting crosses in. The young man's essentially giving the ball back to us.
And again, Mertesacker high up the pitch on Batshuayi. That's how the first goal came about.
There's been 2 or 3 times, hasn't it? He's really been caught out of position. Maybe struggling with the 3 at the back scenario.
Well, if he stands there and just heads the ball away, fine. But if he decides to venture further forward, he's going to get in all sorts of trouble, as we've seen. Chelsea have won it back again. This is Jeremy Boga. This time, Maitland-Niles manages to get it away. Half-time rapidly approaching here. Ramsey can't get on the end of that. Piliqueta away, finds Fabregas.
Guess there'll be a few minutes extra there, won't there, for the injury to
Pedro,
and obviously
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Fabregas just delayed the ball in, allowed Arsenal to pinch it back. There was a pullback there by David Luiz.
I think it's an area of the pitch that David Luiz could afford to give away a free kick. Just a little drag on the shirt, wasn't it? Good turn by Lacazette though. Haven't seen a great deal of him. this opening 45 minutes, Lacazette. Actually still getting used to the Arsenal way.
Xhaka getting a taste of his own medicine there from Fabregas.
All those challenges perhaps he didn't need to make.
Bramall. No way past Moses. Iwobi. Ozil and Ramsey linking up, but there was no return from Ramsey, and suddenly Chelsea can break. 3 on 2. It's Boga. Just waited too long, and Oxlade-Chamberlain came back at him.
Yeah, good tracking back by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Just needed to change his angle there, Jeremy Boga. Running straight, it was easy for Oxlade-Chamberlain to get back and make the challenge. If he runs at an angle, then he's got to be careful where he dives in. Good communication there. Decent little ball by Ozil. Maybe not enough pace on it. That's good communication, David Luiz, and your goalkeeper, Courtois.
Cahill clearing his lines effectively. Now Ramsey, he's in here, and Courtois has to make a save for pretty much the first time in the half.
Well, that'll be a learning curve for our back three, won't it? It's a great ball in. I thought we were just slightly too high up the park. Just left Ramsey with an opportunity. He just delays the first shot. I think if he takes the first one on and gets it on target, it would have been difficult for Courtois, but he gave him a chance to narrow the angle a little bit more. And stands up well. Good save.
Good ball in there from Oxlade-Chamberlain. Short corner from Arsenal. That didn't go according to plan.
Not sure what he's given here. This is the referee on the far side.
Neither is Wenger.
2 seconds.
The referee's going to just suggest there was a bit of pushing and shoving, which makes the decision okay.
4th minute of stoppage time. Ozil takes. That's why he heads away firmly. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Bramall. Moses heads away before Lacazette can nip in behind.
It's a good position as well from Victor Moses, to be honest. You know, that's not his normal position. He had to go very, very deep to make the header.
Bramall. Showed a good bit of pace there. Oh, Moses, superb.
Simple, wasn't it?
That's worth chasing. Boga's got the pace to get on the end of it. But Ozil saw the danger. And there is the half-time whistle. Chelsea in a commanding position here. 1 or 2 minor scares, but they've dominated that first half and scored 2 excellent goals. The first from Willian in the 40th minute, and barely a minute later, Michy Batshuayi with the delightful curler into the far post. One downer was the injury to Pedro, which we hope isn't too serious after he was caught by Ospina. But it's Chelsea's half. They lead comfortably at the break at the Bird's Nest. Half-time, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2.
So justice done in Beijing. Ivan Gary.
So, the second half moments away. Arsene Wenger bringing on two strikers for the start of the second half in Olivier Giroud and Danny Welbeck. A little bit of confusion as to who's coming off, I think, there. Vic Akers keeping conversation with the officials. And I think we're going to see Francis Coquelin and new left-back Sead Kolasinac. Well, Arsene Wenger's not happy there. Apologies if you heard any words you shouldn't have. I think I'd move the microphone away from him.
Well, it's strange that people get this wrong. I don't see the problem. I would have thought Arsene Wenger would have known his changes he was going to make at the break. He would probably have informed the officials almost straight away. I don't understand why it can be that difficult to make that sort of a problem, unless he's changed it right at the last seconds, which I doubt if he had. Obviously a miscommunication somewhere down the line though, Gary.
Well, Giroud is coming back to the bench for the time being. I mean, I'm looking at my team sheet and I can't see Olivier Giroud's name on there, so that may be where some of the confusion has come from. Anyway, Arsenal start the second half and they'll have to try and sort that one out amongst themselves. I've had to actually write Giroud's name on the team sheet myself, so that may be where it stems from. But anyway, he is out there. So Giroud, Welbeck, Coquelin and Kolasinac all starting the second half for the Gunners. No changes at the break for the Blues, apart from in goal where Willy Caballero's come on. No surprise there. Courtois didn't actually have a lot to do, did he, in that first half?
No, just the one save from Ramsey, and I think he stood up well at the near post to make that save. And we know what Thibaut can give us, so it's good to integrate Caballero, to get him involved with his back three and get a bit of an understanding. Hopefully Thibaut will stay fit all season. To be honest, he's, for me, one of the world's greatest goalkeepers, and I think you want all your best players fit, don't you?
Giroud holding off David Luiz, trying to bring Welbeck into play. Found starts last season hard to come by, Giroud, in the second half of the season, didn't he? But scored more goals from the bench than anyone else in the Premier League last season. Here's Boga. Well, it took three, but they finally dispossessed him.
It's nice to see Jeremy in that sort of position. I think sometimes you get there and you think, I've got no choice, I've got nowhere to go, I've got to use my ability to try and get beyond players. It's nice to see as well, sorry Gary, nice to see Alonso backing him up though. If he's going to push on with the ball, if he's going to have it at his feet, he needs support when it goes right and when it goes wrong.
Koscielny also out there for Arsenal. Here's Gary Cahill. That was an uncharacteristically loose one. Ramsey picked it up. Coquelin. Ramsey looking for Olivier Giroud. Nothing wrong with the ball, but he was beaten by the bounce.
I'm surprised he's gone with his foot. I thought he might go for a diving header here. To be fair, that's the sort of ball that Giroud loves. You just clip it over the first defender and he gets on the end of things. It's a lovely little ball by Aaron Ramsey, beats David Luiz. For me, Giroud, maybe a sharper Giroud, been on since the beginning, might have got on the end of that.
Wasn't the kick that Caballero had in mind.
That was a bit of practice for him, wasn't it? Let's hope it improves. Completely scuffed it, really.
That's right.
And to be honest, you know, Batshuayi's hold-up play in the first half was excellent, and it was terrific there. What a ball!
Alonso. Oh, superb. Chamberlain completely committed himself, and that's a wonderful goal from Batshuayi. What a finish! Maybe even better than the one in the first half. 3-0 to Chelsea, and they're making it look so easy.
Well, it is better than the one in the first half for me, Gary. What a finish this is! But I tell you what, his hold-up play has been good in the first half, and this pattern of play is excellent. This is what we want him to be doing. Holding the ball up, linking the play. Well, not only that, with Cesc Fabregas's pass, which was excellent to Alonso, he has then made up so much ground to get to the edge of the box. He's a long way off here at the moment. Alonso's picking the ball up, and he was only on the halfway line. Here he comes into the picture late. Alonso picks him out. But what a finish this is. On his, some would say, weaker left foot. We've already seen one goal from him, but this is top quality.
Bang! 3-0. Yeah, we can enjoy that one. And have himself a brace against Fulham. And 2 more here.
Just showing some of the quality that we saw last season from the Blues. Absolutely brilliant. The passing was terrific. The picking out the right pass, the finish. Just where we left off.
The first game of pre-season didn't used to be like this, Clive, did it?
Things have changed, Gary.
Massively. Sharpness levels incredible.
It's the fitness of the players, and I think we have to look at that at times and accept, you know, the fitness is different class these days.
Willian just was denied there by Kolasinac. Ramsey. Giroud, who's just dropped a little deeper.
He's made a run from deep there, Giroud, and it probably was the right idea, just overcooked. Iwobi.
Willian. A classy performance so far from Chelsea. Fabregas has been terrific. Another great ball from him. Willian.
I think the crowd are beginning to really enjoy it, aren't they? Especially the blue side. Some good passing, some good quality, and I think we're seeing excellent touches on the ball from the lads, and I think we're seeing that confidence from Chelsea as well. That's sometimes in these early games in pre-season you don't always see.
Arsenal of all clubs would know that if you allow Cesc Fabregas a little time and space in midfield, he'll punish you. Ozil. Giroud. Ozil. Ushered out of the penalty area and just run out of turf.
He had nowhere to go, did he, Ozil? And I think when you're in that situation, when you're the likes of Mesut Ozil, he's not got the pace to get away from 2 players. And Mikhail doing the job well, ushering the ball out of play.
Arsenal's former record signing, Ozil, before Lacazette joined. Lacazette, who barely got a kick in the first half and has been hooked. Welbeck. Ramsey. Coquelin. Koscielny. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alonso knew only too well he wanted it on his right side, was never going to allow that. Ozil.
It was a good period of possession, isn't it, from Arsenal, but again, no clinical finish from them.
That's why he had the chance, but real pressure there on his man on Lenny, but just a little tug.
He just put his hand around his neck, and just want to see the fake showing of a card. And you see the hand on the neck. It goes down pretty cheaply, but I think Lenny doesn't need to show his hand like that. Gets a free kick.
No free kick there.
I think he's lost possession of the ball there, Welbeck. Referee not falling for it. Game becoming very open again though, where Arsenal are trying to get back into the game. This might be one of those counter-attacking moments for Chelsea.
This is Elneny. That is a foul by Azpilicueta on Welbeck. Iwobi. Ramsey. Giroud. Lovely flick. And David Luiz with a challenge right on the edge. Free kick.
I wondered if the referee was going to give a penalty there. It was very, very tight, very close. I think it was a foul. I think we just about got away with that. There was contact by David Luiz. He's actually tried to fall into the penalty area, Danny Welbeck. Probably a good decision.
Well, definitely a chance here for Arsenal. They've had precious few.
I have to say they've been better, haven't they, in the second half, and the fact that they've got Giroud and Welbeck up top certainly helped their cause, with Lacazette being isolated or out of the game really in the first 45 minutes.
Well, when it's this close to goal, you've got to try and work out the best route to the net, because you can't get it up and down in time.
And they usually take some strike from this close to the edge of the box to score. Caballero trying to organise his wall. Of course, he needs to get that absolutely spot on. Well, the referee's making a bit of a fuss over this, to be honest. He's got to count out the 10 yards. Why he's waiting for the players to back off, I don't know. Surely step 12 yards, sorry, 10 yards, and then spray it and then expect the players to get behind the line. Not that way round. He's the wrong way round for me.
Well, eventually, here we go. Giroud, Ramsey, and Giroud again. Great defending. But here's Ozil. Missed from Ramsey, swung and missed. And eventually over. It was Coquelin, wasn't it, that had the final strike, but that's about 5 or 6 shots in the space of 30 seconds from Arsenal.
Yeah, good defensive work in numbers by Chelsea, but there was a challenge on David Luiz, which was a little bit naughty in the middle of all of this. There's the strike that eventually comes in from Coquelin. Not the best strike, to be honest. Caballero does get something on it. No, he doesn't. Actually just clips over the top of the net, but there was a challenge on David Luiz again that the foot was left in when he tried to clear his lines, and if he doesn't see it, could have been nasty.
Well, Arsene Wenger said in the build-up to this game, it's wrong to call it a friendly when these two play each other. I think he's been thoroughly vindicated. There's bound to be an edge.
Well, there always is, isn't there? I mean, it is a London derby and it is two of the big rivalries. I think we're always going to expect that.
Boga. Oh, superb balance. Alonso. Contact. Oh, Fabregas. Clever ball, Moses.
Top quality, isn't it, Fabregas? What a ball that is in behind. There are parts of his game which, we talk about pace, but I tell you what, his passing is exquisite.
There aren't many better at seeing that type of pass and then executing them. Giroud. Conte trying to hold him up. Ramsey. Giroud again. And that's comfortable for Caballero.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gone for goal here, Giroud. Look for Ozil, but if he's gone for goal, then it's the wrong decision. Easy for Caballero in the end, but Ozil was in a good position to possibly score. If he scores this one across, yeah, he doesn't look up. Actually, slight deflection by Azpilicueta takes the pace off the ball. He's had a knock for his troubles, but I don't think Giroud was actually looking for Ozil there. I think he's looking to try and score. It's a tight angle. And Cesar's taken a knock for his troubles, but really defended it well.
So an hour gone in Beijing. Chelsea 3-0 to the good here. Ozil, Giroud wants it on that left side. And the momentum of the attack dissolved.
Just a bit of sloppy play by Jeremy Boga. Actually gave the ball back to Arsenal. Again, that's a learning curve for him in those tight areas. A little bit of an edge, isn't it? Arsenal desperate to score, and of course Chelsea desperate to keep that clean sheet.
Chamberlain attempting the cross. His slip let in Chelsea for the third goal. It's a good ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Iwobi.
Good defender by Vincent Moses as well. A chance for Jeremy Boga to stretch his legs. Oh, it's cynical, isn't it?
Coquelin.
Between two players. There's no way they were going to allow him past.
Well, if they didn't know about Boga, they do now.
That's just cynical for me. Coquelin and Koscielny with the same view that whatever happens to the ball, the player doesn't go past me.
Well, we've gone past the hour mark. Still just that one enforced change for Chelsea. Willian looking to get in round the back of El Neni. And that's a decent save from Ospina. He caught that nicely, Willian.
Struck it well, didn't he? Bang on target. Good save, but I have to say, question mark over El Neni's defending.
Boga.
Oh, that's nutmegs on Xhaka. I mean, there's a few yellow cards you could have racked up here had this been a league game.
Kolasinac,
yeah, sorry.
Challenge.
But wonderful skills by Jeremy Boga. That's where he's dangerous. He's drawn the foul. Little nutmegs here. Whoops. Got caught in the follow through.
Now, this is a bit further out than the Arsenal one, and that is what you want. Great opportunity for maybe the left foot of Alonso.
Well, being the first game, Gary, I think as well, you know what the players are like. They'd have been on the training field practicing all day long. And there's a few contenders there, although David Luiz has walked away. Willian, we've seen so many times, it doesn't matter what side for him, either right or left. But Alonso, we've also seen him rattle the crossbar, stick it in the top corner, so either or here.
There's Alonso into that wall, comes to contact. Fabregas very nearly with one of those cute little dinks forward to Batshuayi. Moses. Again nudged this time by Aaron Ramsey.
He had no answer, Ramsey, did he? I mean, just the quickness of his feet, Willian, and the pace when he gets away from players, and Ramsey just can't do anything about it. I say, Gary, just the one enforced substitution. Antonio Conte will have a certain period in mind that he wants most of the players to play. I guess there will be some changes, and I guess there will be a block change. I think we'll see 3 or 4 players come on at the same time.
Well, again, in years gone by, you wouldn't have had anyone playing more than 45 minutes in the first match. Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Ozil. Well, that was the idea, but Boga saw it first. Looks to release it early. Willian will pick this up.
Wasn't he quick there, Jeremy Boga? Excellent to see.
He certainly hasn't looked out of place. That's no surprise. We've seen him so many times at lower levels at Chelsea. That's why he looks for Alonso. And he weighed in with more than his fair share of goals last season, 6. He didn't get that one on target.
No, but do you know what? He's found himself high up the park in space, and he's got a strong left foot. I actually don't blame him for taking this one on, because he's not got the pace to beat the defender, and I think he sees a chance of hitting the target. And I don't blame him. Just doesn't strike it sweetly enough, but I think he's gone with the right decision.
Why having his shirt tucked there by El Neni, who really doesn't look comfortable at centre-back. Willian
That's a foul,
gets away with that one.
Goodness me.
Chelsea still have it with Alonso. Good ball all the way through to Victor Moses. And he had to wait for it to drop. That allowed Kolasinac to make the block.
I'll tell you what, it's a great ball though, wasn't it? Alonso sees Victor at the far post and just sticks it on a plate for him. Good first touch, to be fair, but again, defending was decent. Does the right thing, Victor Moses. Great first touch and tries to drill it into the bottom corner.
Short corner. Boga. Oh, nothing wrong with that ball. Coquelin got himself in front of Alonso.
Yeah, defended it well, didn't he, in the end? It was a decent ball as well.
Giroud. Fair play to him there. Didn't look like there was much on. He's got it back from Ozil. It's Giroud. Ambitious.
Well, yeah, and again, from Arsenal's perspective, I mean, we saw Batshuayi in the first half take 1 or 2 shots on, possibly at the wrong time. I think this one was as well, but again, if you strike it sweetly, head down, try and hit the target, you've got a chance to score, but on this occasion drags it well wide.
Some talk of him leaving, wasn't there? West Ham very interested before they opted for Javier Hernandez. I don't think Giroud was terribly interested. Oh, what a lovely touch, and Boga's in here, has Willian to his right. Koscielny holding up young Boga. How long for? Oh, well, he's asking the question, where were my teammates, because there's no one on the far post.
Just got himself in a great position, didn't he, Jeremy Boga? And Koscielny isolated as well. It's a good chance for him. Well, 68 minutes and time for
reinforcements, plenty of them.
Time for a drinks break as well, I would think, for some of the players. Certainly put a lot of effort into these 68 minutes, so certainly need a little bit of a refreshment.
Well, it looks like Arsenal have brought on Willock, number 69, in their latest change. There's the likes of Kennedy coming on here for Chelsea. Aaron Ramsey depart there.
Yeah, Lewis Baker coming
Lewis
on.
Baker, yep.
Good to see. Kaya Tomori's coming on as well.
I think Remy will be seeing as well.
So as we said, Gary, you know, just about 20 minutes to go. Changes in abundance at this stage.
So Alonso, Willian, Moses, Batshuayi all coming off here. There's Tomori taking on Iwobi. And Kolasinac prevents him from going any further. All these mass substitutions, it can be hard to keep on top of who's on and who's off, but looks like Chelsea have made 5 in total. This is Willock for Arsenal. Doesn't want to lose it there. Boga to David Luiz. Well, he was coming forward there, Kennedy, but perhaps just took a little bit too long.
Yeah, it just fell over his legs, didn't he? I don't think he needed to do that. He could have continued and run on with the ball. I think he was looking for the free kick, not given. Wars with substitutions just changes the sort of tempo and the style of the game. Probably see it a little bit ragged. I guess go out and impress, isn't it, for some of the young lads who've just gone on.
Willock. Joseph Willock, his brother Chris has signed for Benfica. There come Chelsea again, on the counter. That was a very decent run by Remy.
It's a good early ball to him as well, which is obviously a sensible thing by Lewis Baker. You know, just what he's good at is finding those passes, and the game looks very, very stretched now. And as we said before, with substitutions it gets ragged. There's going to be opportunities for both sides.
I think Arsene Wenger's going to change his goalkeeper, perhaps. Martinez will be coming on. Fabregas, who's been terrific. Cahill. Conte. Coquelin with the foot in, but not for long. There's Fabregas with another splendid pass. Absolutely superb. And could they be in again? Goalkeeper has to make the sprawling save.
Tell you what, Gary, it's just bringing a big smile to my face. Fabregas's passing is absolutely unique. I don't think there's another player in the Premier League that can pass like Cesc Fabregas. See opportunities is one thing, but executing them in the way he does is absolutely brilliant. But Tomori's touch there was exceptional. It was brilliant, and he gets himself into a great position. I'd love to have seen him put the ball past Ospina into the back of the net, but to be fair to the Arsenal goalkeeper, he stood up and made a great save. I just thought the movement deserved a goal.
like Reece Nelson is also on for Arsenal, number 61. He's sneaking these players on without us noticing. Ozil, Coquelin. Ozil. Kolasinac gets it out wide. So Willock. This is Nelson, Elephant and Castle. Boy, here he is. No way through there though.
That was a good challenge by Kennedy, and again, you know, with Kennedy, that's not his best attribute, playing deep. He finds himself there having to defend and does it well.
Fabregas. Conte. Oh, super first time pass. And how cynical is that from
There's a yellow card. There's a yellow card, first one of the game.
It's as blatant as it gets.
Lewis Baker's away and running, isn't he? I don't think he'd have ever caught him as well. A great early ball by N'Golo Kante though. He's looking for another drinks break. Referee here, 15 minutes to go, and players will relish that, I'm sure. You have to say the passing's been great by Chelsea today, the movement.
Well, we haven't had to talk about the pitch much, Clive, have we? Because it is poor.
And I think if we'd have had a few bad bounces and a few missed opportunities, we'd have blamed a lot of it on the pitch, Gary, to be honest. Yeah, and I think the nature of the way we've played has been excellent. You know, we've approached it in the right frame of mind. No, it's not the best pitch, not the best playing surface. It's a wonderful stadium and doesn't deserve a surface of this nature, but the guys have just got on with it, put it out of their mind and played as we like to see football played. It's been excellent.
Donyell Malen, young striker, coming on for Arsenal. Player they signed from Ajax. Andreas Christensen is going to be coming on for Chelsea, and Jake Clark-Salter. Looks like Mario Pasalic will be coming on as well, and Kyle Scott. And to complete it, Thomas Callas. So another big block of changes here. A few young players getting their chance.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I mean, this is what we want to see, given those opportunities, and some of the players that have been away on loan and got that development side of their game done and dusted, and then it's progressed to where they are now and being hopefully given the opportunities of playing in the first team, and now we're seeing it, getting the chances. Okay, it's only 14-15 minutes, but certainly a learning curve for all of them.
Of course, Andreas Christensen back from 2 years on loan in the Bundesliga. Could be a big season for him.
Well, it could be, and there's been some great things said about his performances, Gary, as well. And when that happens, and when people are talking about young players, that's when the management look up and say, this guy might be ready now.
Little ice pack there for Batshuayi on the calf. So the latest one's coming off Fabregas, Conte, David Luiz, and possibly Gary Cahill here, and Azpilicueta as well. They've lasted, 77 minutes? That's pretty good for the first game.
Good sign of fitness, isn't it, that? Really impressed by it. Not only the scoreline and the way we've played, finishing's been good. I don't think there's been one downside, and the only one I can think of is Pedro, and we certainly hope he's okay. And if mistakes come now with the multiple changes, and if the players make individual errors, then so be it. But this is the time to do it. Last 10-12 minutes or so, going to make a mistake, make one now. If not, go on and impress.
Boga looking for Remy, and offside. That is 11 changes made since the start for Chelsea. But you might have envisaged that happening a lot sooner. It's a really good sign. Those two Other high-profile friendlies coming up this week. The result is not paramount here, but Chelsea will enjoy this. 3-0, getting full value for it. Boga. Can't fail to have impressed Antonio Conte today in his performance.
I think everybody's impressed, but it's always the youngsters you want to look at and learn a bit about. And Antonio Conte's point of view, probably knows what the starting 11 was going to give him. It's the others that he needs to see. I'm sure we'll see more of them as pre-season goes on.
Remy wearing the armband, had that injury-hit season on loan at Crystal Palace last year. Just when he recovered, he got injured again. Frankly, he was barely seen last season, so he'll be keen to have a positive campaign. El Neri.
I think Arsene Wenger's seen the position that El Neni really can't play is in the back three. Moved him back forward into the midfield area now.
Koscielny, it's a decent ball for Malen, who would love to be playing through the middle, but Giroud and Welbeck on the pitch, he has to switch out wide. Not the result that those people in your picture were hoping for. Following a remarkable last 10 minutes. Malen.
Not the sort of delivery that Arsenal are known for, and you wouldn't expect players like Welbeck and Giroud to run into those near post areas. Just doesn't generally happen. Good touch.
Very positive touch from Remy. This is Carl Scott. Christensen. Kennedy. Well, inevitably, so many changes, it's bound to become a little more disjointed.
Well, as the closer it gets to the 90-minute mark, I'm sure the younger Chelsea players are aware that keeping that clean sheet is so important. So not too worried about giving Arsenal too much possession.
Welbeck. Oh, nicely played by Tomori. Scott. And again. Arsenal have two games at the Emirates to go after this, against Benfica and Sevilla, before the Community Shield against the Blues 2 weeks tomorrow. And a foul by Palicic. Pasalic, should I say. 8 minutes left. Iwobi. Willock. Nelson. Just trying to squeeze that through to Malen.
Yeah, he's unlucky, isn't he? You just wonder what's going through his mind, because he's very raw, running into a cul-de-sac makes it very, very difficult. Lots of Chelsea players there.
Cross from Reece Nelson was a deep one. too deep in the end. Good determination and tenacity from Remy. Finds Kennedy. Just that touch allowed Kolasinac to come across. He's got good pace anyway.
Yeah, just an extra touch from Kennedy, just gives him the chance to nip in, but him just keeping that calm head in those situations. He's quick enough, Kennedy. Thought he might have got a shot away.
Wide by El Neni for Nelson. And Giroud. Kolasinac. Arsenal toiling here in their search for another goal. Giroud lurking for Welbeck. Caballero in the way.
Well, again, good running from Giroud, isn't it? But I just don't think he had the awareness once he had his first touch. He was in good space. Probably had time to bring the ball down and cause us all sorts of problems. But just hooking it over his shoulder, gives Caballero plenty of time to come out and collect. Not really threatening enough for me, Arsenal. And haven't done.
Final five in Beijing. What has been a really super start for Chelsea in pre-season.
I guess as well, people who haven't seen the game go will probably say, well, 3-0 against Arsenal, great result. Not only that, we've actually played very, very well today. There's been some excellent stuff to watch.
All three goals very high quality.
Absolutely, and I think that's the full picture of the nature of this game.
Nelson, past Kennedy. This could be a chance for Malen. He's so prolific at junior level.
It was a chance, wasn't it? Good run in. Initially causing us all sorts of problems, but not sure how many times the referee's going to blow his whistle though here. Gets past Kennedy, gets inside him. Nudge from Kennedy, he's unlucky. That's a dive. I don't think that at all is a foul. Because it's a post, doesn't it? Outside of the post. It's a goal kick.
Koscielny nips in. Giroud. Oh, that wasn't a great ball, was it, from the Frenchman? From one Frenchman to another.
And again, we talk about the youngsters learning, Gary, as we go along, and Jeremy Boga there again, coming in to get the ball to feet, just brushed off the ball too easily by Koscielny. And there we see Giroud's touch it, a mite heavy. Joe Clark-Salter just gets in and bashes the ball against him, another goal kick.
Kolasinac. Koscielny. Coquelin. Giroud. And the referee immediately stopping the game.
Yeah, I think he called it a head injury on Christensen. Just dives in and tries to head the ball away. Thought there was a clash, I think. The referee. Free kick goes Chelsea's way. And give the ball back. Nothing in that.
Arsenal without one or two players because of their earlier international commitments. Alexis Sanchez, Shkodran, Mustafi. A couple of players at home awaiting moves away. Lucas Perez, Kieran Gibbs. Of course, Chelsea have got plenty absent themselves. They might be in for more goals too. Here's Loic Remy. Oh, it's sat up beautifully for him on that left foot.
Half a chance, wasn't it, for him? I think he saw the opportunity there when the ball was bobbling around. It was a snapshot. It does get blocked. I guess Arsene Wenger will walk away saying, well, it's a pre-season friendly, the scoreline doesn't matter. I'm sure Chelsea will walk away thinking the opposite, especially with the Community Shield coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
Baker with the corner. Chelsea's 6th of the game. Of course, losing the match doesn't matter, but emphatic scoreline, that's never good.
Well, I think if you're honest as well, if you're Arsene Wenger, you know, it's the nature of the game too. I mean, we have been the better side by quite a distance, and the scoreline reflects that.
Go. 90th minute. Latest chapter in what's been 110 years of rivalry between these two. First met November 1907. And they'll meet again in a fortnight's time at Wembley. Two very different teams to the 11 on the pitch right now. Elneny looking for Welbeck. Callas with the defending.
Yeah, he's taken a touch as well. I think that was a corner. And there was a nudge by Danny Welbeck as well, which forced him into pushing the ball away.
3 minutes of stoppage time. Just as well we don't get 30 seconds per sub.
I was going to say that was decent of them, wasn't it? Could have been a lot longer, yeah, 30 seconds or so.
Punches away.
No, he hasn't had a great deal to do, has he, Caballero? And to be honest, he's made a good decision there. That's a good punch, nice and positive.
Arsenal looking for a consolation at the end. There's a way we're trying to burst through. Looks like he'll get 90 minutes. Coquelin. Welbeck. Iwobi. Chelsea could counter. Baker trying to do exactly that. Boga. Coquelin. There's the man with him. And he needed a little bit of help as well from Willock.
I was just going to say, what a position for Jeremy to be in the last couple of minutes. Only one thing on his mind, to take on Coquelin. Does it well, but Willock helps him out.
Scott. Koscielny got himself in a bit of bother. Lewis Baker goes over, and that's a free kick to Chelsea. A player of his experience got caught out there.
And that's a rush of blood, isn't it? Koscielny got caught out completely. Terrible challenge on Lewis Baker in the end, but that's frustration. Got himself in a complete mess. Well, dare I say it, Gary, is there some icing on the cake for us? I guess this will be the last kick of the match. There's a great opportunity for somebody to take a shot on. Lewis Baker, well, in the past in the under-23s, I've seen him score some wonderful goals from this sort of position.
And also going further back, Youth Cup, we've seen a few, haven't we?
Absolutely. You know, through the years as a young man. Well, if he takes this on, what an opportunity for him to make that step up.
A chance to add an extra layer of gloss to the scoreline here. It is Baker, and Martinez makes the save. There's the final whistle from referee Fu Ming, and that probably describes how Arsene Wenger's feeling after a crushing win for Chelsea. By far the better side. 2 super goals from Michy Batshuayi after Willian had opened the scoring. Chelsea 2 up at the break, added a third shortly after.